So here we're going to move on to the cellular mechanism of anxiety. So this is going to give you I'm going to give you a little bit of a breakdown of how it looks when you have anxiety and what needs to happen to get that anxiety lowered. So a lot of you have heard of the imbalance of specific neurotransmitters like norepinephrine, serotonin, dopamine, GABA. These influence the activity of the brain and lead to symptoms of anxiety. So if you take a look here, I'm going to move it, Jerry, just a tad bit. Here's an example of lower levels of neurotransmitters. Here we see serotonin. The red indicates the serotonin molecules that are released into the synaptic cleft. So if you look closely here, the red is binding on the corresponding serotonin receptor. So that serotonin is released. It needs to connect to a source in order to reap those benefits. So with anxiety, there could be lower levels of neurotransmitters with less binding. And so that's going to, with less neurotransmitter receptors. And so if you have less of transmitter receptors, it's going to lead to less chances of getting that spike of feeling good. And then the contrary, the anxiety goes up, it goes higher because you have less neurotransmitters to recept to basically connect to. So with anxiety, again, the lower levels of neurotransmitters with less binding with the neurotransmitter receptor sites, this decreases the strength of the electrical signal that moves across to the cleft and down to the axon. And so if you look here, a lot of you that don't have too much transmitting going on, or you don't have enough for those serotonin molecules to connect to, it's going to lead to more anxiety. So this is kind of going on the cellular level of things. I know it's really deep, and some of you might not care a lot about how the cellular mechanism works, but a lot of you do care about how it works. And it's very important to know what's going on in the body on the cellular side of things, because you're trying to figure out what's happening. Some of you definitely know what's going on the outside, but this is what's basically needs to go on the inside. Increase the serotonin. It's going to increase the level of transmission of those serotonin molecules. Those molecules are going to connect to the receptors, available receptors, which is going to lead to more feel-good feeling. So when you go somewhere in a familiar territory, or you go into a place where you feel soothing sounds, or you go to a place where you can just feel at ease, you're going to release more serotonin molecules and out into the cells. When it connects to those binding receptors, you're going to feel an abundance of healing. So a lot of you, I talk a lot about anxiety, and I will continue to talk about mental health and anxiety. But the importance of this video is to show you on the cellular level of what's happening inside the body, and what's needed is to familiarize yourself in places that make you feel good. You need to do things that make you feel better. You need to get out of things that don't make you feel well. That way the body can start having the best chance possible to transmit the most amount of serotonin molecules to connect. And so once you do that, you'll start to feel an abundance. You'll start to heal the body, not just on the cellular side, but on the mental aspect of side, improving tissue in the brain, improving blood flow, improving the overall health of the overall standing of the body. If you can just do a couple of things, eliminate the things that do not move the needle for you, increase the things that you get very little of that gives you a mega amount of benefits. And so take a look at your overall lifestyle, journal the things that make you feel good, things that you need more of, things that boost your mood, things in that nature are going to help you feel better. It's all about identifying those things and getting the most out of these molecules here. And that's what's going to ultimately help drop the anxiety, increase the serotonin, increase the feel good, drop the cortisol levels. And that way your body will start finding the healing that it ultimately needs and ultimately deserves. So I hope this video was very helpful for you. If it was, please take time to subscribe to the channel. I try to bring content as often as possible. But in the meantime, I'm going to step out of the Jaye Wellness 3D studio and leave you in good hands with this video. Like anything else, folks, we're here to simply go back to the basics. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you on the next video.